This is the real reason that gaming isn't the same anymore. You've heard it all at this point. Gaming isn't fun, and gaming just doesn't feel the same as it used to. Obviously, something has changed in gaming for the last couple of years, which is why you've seen these videos so often. Either on TikTok or here on YouTube, we've seen a lot of people talking about how gaming just isn't the same. And they're right, gaming isn't as fun or special as it used to be, but no one is talking about the real reason that it's not the same anymore. A lot of people are saying it's because we're getting older, saying nostalgia is why gaming doesn't feel the same. We look back on the early days of Minecraft and Fortnite when we were 5 or 10 years younger, and that's what makes the game feel so special. The good old days, back when we didn't have responsibilities and bills to pay. We'd come home from school and play Minecraft when it was brand new, and looking back on it, it feels special because of that. That could be true to some extent, but what about the grown-ups who enjoyed Minecraft just as much as we did as kids? Grown-ups who couldn't wait to clock out and play Minecraft all night long back in 2012. What about them? Some people say it's because gaming has become too oversaturated and competitive. People making a living off of Fortnite and Call of Duty constantly playing the game and sweating their balls off trying to hit clips day in and day out, making it so that the casual gamer, which is most of us, can't even play without getting absolutely shit on. That definitely could be a factor for competitive games, but arguably people were extremely competitive back in the Black Ops 2 days, and people still love that game. Or the Black Ops 3 days, people definitely sweat their dicks off on Black Ops 3, but we still loved those two games, and we have a lot of nostalgia associated with them. Sure, maybe it's more saturated now, but I don't buy it. What if I told you the real reason we aren't enjoying games anymore is because of something I haven't heard almost anyone mention before? It's because of innovation. Hear me out. Gaming felt so special when Minecraft had just dropped in 2012 because we had never experienced something like it before. No one had ever played a game like Minecraft. It felt so special because it was so special. Fortnite is another great example. It was so special in 2018 because no one had ever played a game like it before. The Battle Royale genre was on the rise with PUBG, but Fortnite revolutionized it with the building aspect. No one else had ever played a game like Fortnite back when it had first came out. We had all played shooters before. We had been playing Call of Duty for 10 plus years at that point. PUBG and Battle Royale style games were very fun at that time, but it still was just a first-person shooter. The concept of building had never been done before. Shooters mixed with building, it was an entirely new skill set that we all got to start practicing and getting better at, something we had never experienced before. You see, the reason gaming feels so special in the past is because of how quickly gaming evolved. People who have been gaming since Pong feel the same way that us younger kids do. It's not because we're getting older and we are no longer in high school. Rapid innovation is what made games so fun and nostalgic. We were so used to seeing something new and different every single year, which is what made it so much fun. But we've reached a point where companies are taking longer to come up with new games that no one has experienced before. Think about it. Gaming from 2010 to 2015 changed so much more than from 2015 to 2020. In 2010, we got games like Black Ops 1, Red Dead Redemption 1, and Fallout New Vegas. All amazing classics. But within just a few short years after those, we got even more classics such as Skyrim, Borderlands 2, and Grand Theft Auto fucking 5. Games that are far more technologically advanced than the releases even a year prior. This made gaming feel fresh and new because it quite literally was. Every year for so long, we were getting better graphics, new concepts, and new gameplay mechanics. But the issue is, we evolved so quickly that now it's hard for a company to come out with something truly innovative or new. This causes multiple issues. First off, we the consumers start to demand more from companies, and quickly too. The previous AAA title wasn't enough. We need more, and we need it now. This puts pressure on these developers. Giving us a new and improved game back in 2008 took a lot less time than it does now. Games like Red Dead Redemption 2 are the new standard. Games that take quite literally a decade to develop. So now, companies are pressured to release bigger and better games, and there isn't a whole lot bigger or better that we can go. This breeds disasters like Cyberpunk 2077, games that were released too quickly due to popular demand and pressure from investors. When we're getting bored and tired of games far quicker than companies can give us new games, that leaves us with one option: to fall back on games that we loved prior, but already played the hell out of. Why do you think people are still playing Warzone, Fortnite, and Apex Legends to this day still? Because they're old gems that we have had fun with. But of course they don't feel the same anymore. We've been playing them for years and years on end. The issue is that gaming has evolved so much and grown exponentially as an industry to the point where we can no longer improve every single year like all of us have been used to. Think about it, the best-selling game of the year in 2000 was Tetris. The best-selling game of 2010 was Call of Duty Black Ops 1. During those 10 years, we evolved so rapidly and quickly. Each year and each release felt new and innovative, because it was. Now it is so hard to innovate because virtually everything has been done already. Gaming has expanded and improved so much that we are now in a rut of the same cycle of games while we wait for improvement. Because now it takes so much longer to create a great game. That's not to say that companies can't innovate still, it's just a lot harder. I'm sure that Grand Theft Auto 6 will be absolutely out of this world, but it's going to take a lot more time now. The standard for graphics is basically real life, 120 frames capability, ray tracing, and whatever the hell else. But how do you improve when graphics in games nowadays look like real life? You can't. So companies are tied to the standard of real life looking graphics, which will already take a lot of time to develop, and that alone isn't even close to enough for us. That's just the standard. We've already seen that. Real life looking graphics is the bare minimum, so there better be more. Are you starting to see my point now? Of course, gaming 10 years ago feels different than it does now. 10 years ago, we were getting never before seen releases left and right. What people aren't realizing is that we are still seeing that now. It's just taking a lot longer. People are complaining that gaming doesn't feel as fun anymore, but that's not the case when we get a fresh new title. When Red Dead Redemption 2 was brand new, I think it's safe to say that we all felt like little kids again. We were having so much fun. It's just taking longer for those titles, which is why it doesn't feel the same anymore. Like I mentioned, companies still can innovate. Recently, we've gotten God of War Ragnarok, Red Dead 2, Elden Ring, and many more titles that I am forgetting to mention. These are all games that we will look back on in 10 years and think, wow, it was so much fun gaming 10 years ago. We're just not used to having to wait 5 more years for our favorite game company to release games. Take Rockstar, for example. In the last 10 years, from 2013 until 2023, they have released just 2 major titles, Red Dead 2 and Grand Theft Auto 5. From 2003 to 2012, they released 9 major titles. There were actually more than that. These were just the most popular ones. That is almost 5 times more releases in the same amount of time. We were getting a new game from Rockstar every single year for 9 straight years, and then all of a sudden we were getting one release every 5 years out of nowhere. The average lifespan for a Rockstar game from 2003 to 2012 was 1 year. We were used to playing the games for 1 year and then getting another game that we've never experienced before with even better graphics just 1 year later. And that's just from Rockstar. Think of all the other game companies that did similar things during the same time frames. Look at Call of Duty. That game has fallen off because they couldn't innovate. They had done everything already. They had to start reselling titles that they had already seen success with in the past just to sell copies of their game. We were lucky enough to have been able to experience such rapid innovation, but we've gone so far that we now need to give companies more time. We need to learn to appreciate the fewer classics that we're getting nowadays, since there are less of them. And we need to realize that there are less of them because they take longer and are 1,000 times more complex than the games were 10 years ago. If we keep pressuring companies to release games sooner because we are impatient and used to being spoiled with gems every year like before, we are only going to get disasters like Cyberpunk. Gaming changed. The days of getting really good 10 out of 10 games every year for years in a row from one single game company are over. We need to understand this, or slowly we will stop enjoying gaming altogether. And that is the real reason that gaming doesn't feel the same anymore.